Also out this week, and we had Paul Schrader on the program last week, is The Walker.
The Walker.
Schrader himself describes this as the fourth part of a story about somebody growing, which starts off with an angry taxi driver, because he wrote Taxi Driver. Then the character becomes the narcissistic American gigolo Richard Gere in his finest screen role, I think. Then we have Light Sleeper, which is a drug dealer, an anxious drug dealer. And now we have The Walker. The Walker, played by Woody Harrelson, who is basically a society guy whose job it is to walk around society ladies in Washington, D.C. I mean, that's what he does. He's gay, but he's not necessarily out, but he is friends with all these women, and he's kind of the centre of their world. He has a certain degree of narcissism, except for the fact that he's completely bald and he walks around wearing a wig, and we see a lovely scene which matches that scene in American Gigolo when Richard Gere puts all his fabulous clothes out on the bed, and in the Woody Harrelson scene it ends up with him taking off the wig. And at the centre of it all we have, I think, a very brave performance, very accomplished performance, Woody Harrelson giving it his all. It is very interesting that for women of a certain age working in Hollywood, no matter how good they are, the roles dry up. So whereas it's quite hard to get your male lead, and he did say there's an awful lot of people wouldn't play that character because they won't play a gay character. They're still worried about that. As far as the female characters are concerned, you have this incredible array of talent that's there to be, to be used, and they're really enthusiastic about it. Now, there's good and bad to say about The Walker. I've seen it twice. The first time I saw it, I found it almost too theatrical for its own good, as opposed to something like American Gigolo, which is a very sexy film to watch. I mean, sexy in the proper sense, where it's like it's attractive and it's alluring and all that sort of stuff. It is actually quite hard at the beginning to get into the world of The Walker. Second time round, I thought it was a much more accomplished film. As with all of the movies in this quadrilogy, if that is it quadrilogy? Quartet. As with all the movies in this quartet, I think that's the correct English word, isn't it?
Quadrilogy doesn't work at all.
No, but it's the Alien quadrilogy, which is why I say that. But they're rubbish. They're Americans. So as with all the movies in this quartet, there is there's a murder mystery story going on. There's a kind of crime thriller going on in the background, but it's completely to the side of what the movie's actually about. The movie is, in the end, a character study, and it's about, once again, the character of God's lonely man, to whom Schrader returns again and again and again, and that is he writes about that character like nobody else can.
And for that alone, it's worth the ticket price.
It is. It really is. I was also very impressed by just how much Woody Harrelson was willing to kind of shed any sense of narcissism to absolutely play a character who it's very difficult to like, who the tenor of whose voice can be quite annoying. I mean, and he does it really terrifically. And Woody Harrelson's an interesting case because he's done an awful lot of different stuff. You look back at movies like White Men Can't Jump, you look at The People vs. Larry Flint, in which he's absolutely terrific. Yep. I mean, you look at Money Train, he's done action, he's done comedy, he's really bozo comedy. He's worked with the Farrelly brothers, and yet he always surprises me.